down here. So keeping with the thing that I talked about yesterday, meaning the no more flying fingers video, where I explained the concept of finger choreography. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna link to that video at the end of this one. But you can still watch this one first, and then you can dive deeper into the finger choreography concept if you want. So I'm just going to show you a really good warm-up exercise, and this is my warm-up today. So I'm actually practicing what I preach here on the channel, and hopefully I don't sound preachy. I'm just sharing what's worked for me and also worked for a ton of my private students. So I'm going to start on the 7th fret, and again, it's going to be a systematic exercise, so lower the volume, it's going to sound like crap, but again, we're focusing on the actual quality of the notes and, you know, the accuracy and all that stuff. So the exercise goes like this. We're going to divide the fingers into 2 finger groups. So we got 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. And we're just going to go up like each of these finger groups were a weird pentatonic scale or pentatonic shape. So 1, 2 would be like this. So you turn around here and go back down. And I'm saying that so you don't do this. Nothing wrong with that, but for this particular exercise, you just want to turn around at the top and go back down. We're gonna do this with all 6 combinations, and I'm gonna play through this exactly how I practice it, because like I said, this is my warm-up today actually. And as I mentioned in the finger choreography video, I don't use a metronome for this particular way of practicing, just because I want to be able to focus on the movement of the fingers and relaxation and all that stuff. So with that said, I'm just going to play through the first combination here. I do this with all alternate picking, starting with a downstroke. And you're going to see when I come to the second variation of this exercise why that's sufficient, that you don't need to start with an upstroke as well. All right, so here's the exercise. I'm going to go straight into 1, 2, and then just go through all the combinations in one go. So start with 1, 2. One, 3. 1, 4. 2, 3. 2, 4. 3, 4. So that's the full exercise in one position, doing starting from the low string and going up to the high string and back. Now the second variation is doing exactly the same thing, but now we're going to start on the high E string instead. And what happens when you do that is that your picking is going to turn around. So when you did the first one, we went with led to each new string with a downstroke. And then when you turn around here, since we have 3 notes, it's going to be upstroke, 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 upstroke. So the picking turns around anyway. So when we do the opposite now, starting here, we're going to lead with a downstroke from the high E string, and then we're going to lead with an upstroke from the low E string. Anyway, you're going to see what I mean here when you try it yourself. And if you want the tabs for this one, it's available on my Patreon. I'm going to link that in the description as well. So I'm going to go through the opposite version now, or the mirrored version. So same position. So we're only halfway through the actual exercise. So, all right, starting here. So I sped it up here at the end. But like I said, I like doing this without a metronome so I can sort of feel my way through it. Because what I'm trying to get here is to make sure that as soon as the second note hit, whether you're going from left to right to left, I want to prepare the next note, the next string, the first note of the next string. So it's all about being one step ahead in the left hand. And as I mentioned, you have the full explanation of this, a real deep dive in this practice technique, which I think is really important. I'm going to link that at the end of this video, so you can check that out. Now, if you want to do this in a more complete way, I would suggest that you do it in 5 different positions. You can start here at the 1st fret, go through it. So you start from the, do that, and then the whole thing like that. And then you start from the 5th fret, do the same thing, 9th fret, 13, 17. So basically, you cover all the notes like this in 4 frets at a time. So we're basically practicing the whole fretboard, but we don't overlap anything because it simply takes too long to do that for these kind of exercises. And like I mentioned before, these type of exercises, they might sound like crap, and you might feel like, well, how can I use this in a real solo? Well, you probably won't, but you're going to be building so much control by working through your left hand systematically like this, and you're going to get rid of those things where you kind of, I don't really want to use the 3rd and 4th finger together or anything like that, because you're forced to go through even the more uncomfortable combinations when you do this. And when you do that enough, you won't have any uncomfortable combinations. At least not to the point where it's gonna, set you back in technique-wise on the guitar. So I highly suggest that you spend at least some time on this when you practice technique. And obviously you want to practice a lot more musical things as well, but for just building your technique in the most efficient way possible, I really do believe that these systematic type of exercises has quite a big place in that routine. So give this a try. If you have any questions, just let me know. And if you watch the whole video, just write I watched the whole video in the comments, so I can see how many actually get through the whole thing here without, your ears falling off because I'm talking too much. So have a good one. See you in the next video.